we get to the subway.
Ah,
Subway station.
we are at the subway.
Yes.
Another thing I noticed is there's a lot of planes. Every 5 minutes it seems like there's a plane.
Yes, because one of the two Mexican airports, it's really crowded, and we have a lot of visitors. So yes, it's a really big city.
So that might be another reason why you may not want to move to Mexico City. A lot of planes. You
Hola,
don't like
¿tienes tarjeta?
noise. Even if you're from the U.S., actually, prices are more expensive here than other parts of Mexico. So there might be something even if you want to consider U.S., Canada, whatever. Now, I did look up that Mexico City is 61% cheaper than New York City. So, but that being said, it's still more expensive than other parts of Mexico. So if you're thinking about Mexico City or some other city in Mexico that you may want to move to, you may not want to choose Mexico City.
Okay.
Gracias. Buen día.
Yeah. Okay. And Sianja, can you? Oh, that's very good. Sianja, can you tell us how much was it for all these tickets to get on the subway?
For the 3 tickets,
Yeah.
15 pesos.
15. So it's 5 pesos for a ticket, and when that subway ticket, right, you could go from one end to the other end. Is that right?
Yes, you can be all day in the subway and go to one line to another, one train after another. You can do changes of line. You can do anything you want for those 5 pesos.
5 pesos.
5
that's
pesos.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
really good.
even if there are some things that are really expensive in Mexico City, like the rent,
Yeah.
sometimes the food, there are things that are really cheap, like the public transportation.
I just wanted to mention that this subway station is really beautiful. I don't know if all the areas are as pretty and clean as this, but this is so far, in comparison to New York City's subway station, this is incredible because the subway in New York City is just disgusting.
So every line in the metro has those kind of maps that tell you all the stations, so you can plan your travels. This line, it's one of the oldest. All the lines have numbers, so you can know which one were the first and one was the last. So this one, the third line in the metro. It's really big, and it's one of the most used by students because this line goes directly to the UNAM, the university. So in the mornings and in the nights gets so crowded because everyone go to the university and go out to from the university. So at this time, again, it's not a peak hour. You are not going to see a lot of people, but even though, as you can saw, there it is a lot of people in the train, but not so much, so you can feel like you are going to die.
And yeah, so as Sianja mentioned, it's very easy to get around over here between the trains, the electric buses, which were a shock because the buses over here are full electric, which is really cool. And you also have the taxis and the Ubers, which are very, very reasonably priced. We took a ride that would have cost $30 last night in New York, minimum $30. We took an Uber over here that cost us $2. So the dinner was a little expensive compared to what we're used to in the rest of Mexico, but the transportation was incredible. And the dinner really wasn't too bad either, just comparing it to other places in Mexico. I think it depends.
This train looks older though in New York City.
Yeah.
Subway station's nicer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as a curiosity, all the lines have those. It's supposed to be a clock, but a lot of them they're not on.
Right.
But when you get to a friend and said, we're going to see you in that station, it's really known that you are going to see them under the clock. So if someone told you, I see you in the Valderas station, you are going to see them under the clock.
Under the clock.
At least that they told you something different. It's common sense, under the clock.
Go under the clock.
And when you live here since you're little, because of the doors can close, all the parents tell us, if you get in the train and I get out, you're going to come down the next station and wait for me under the clock.
Okay.
So I'm going to go in the next train, I'm going to get out in the next station, and I'm going to find you under the clock. They teach you that since you're little.
Wow.
Because it happens a lot.
Wow. Okay.
Okay? You want to get out to the street?
Would you like to take a taxi?
Yes?
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. No worries.
Don't worry.
So we're going to actually get out of the train and take a cab, which will still be extremely reasonably priced compared to something like in the United States. It'll probably only be a couple of dollars. The other thing that I wanted to mention was Sianja told us yesterday when we were at the airport, I mentioned in one of the videos, how do you know how much to tip the cab driver? And she was confused at first because apparently you don't tip the cabs in Mexico. Now, if it's an Uber, that's a little bit different. But the cabs themselves, they're giving you a service and you're paying the cab, so you wouldn't be tipping them, which is very different than in the United States. So I just wanted to point that out. So if you want a cab here in Mexico City, you can hail a cab. The cabs are pink and white. You can call them, or you can take an Uber or a DD if you want one of those. But it's advised not to go with people who are just telling you that they're cabs. Go with a legitimate company to make sure you're getting a real cab driver. Same thing as in the United States.
Okay, yes.
Hello everybody, we're out of the cab and we are in Chapultepec. And we're going to be checking out a castle over here, and there's also a museum that we might stop by. Hola, buen día.
Sí. Sí, es para allá el castillo, ¿verdad? Sí. Perfecto, gracias. Yes, Chapultepec, it's beautiful.
Bosque de
Okay.
Chapultepec.
So this is all they have, Chapultepec.
Wow.
Very nice.
The zoo,
Wow.
the anthropology museum,
So the zoo's on
the
our
history
itinerary.
museum,
The history museum's also on our itinerary.
a gallery of history, the castle, contemporary art museum,
Botanical
modern art museum, the place museum, the house by the lake. Yes, there's a lot of things here. It's huge.
If I were to live in Mexico City, I would probably want to live somewhere near here because you could be near everything here.
Yes.
I think everybody wants to live here.
Probably. Is it? No. No, people like to live in Roma.
And
Oh.
La Roma, yes.
Yeah. Or Polanco.
Yes, because it's more fancy.
Yeah.
Or they like to live by Coyoacán. Coyoacán, it's beautiful. It's like Pátzcuaro, but a little bit bigger, and with a lot of things to do.
Okay.
Wow.
That's very different than
But
Pátzcuaro.
yes, but the difference is the people who wants to live in La Roma, they're like be so fancy and rich, and Coyoacán it's more for relaxed people. If you go to Polanco, you're going to see the dress code. right?
Okay.
You are going to put like your best clothes,
Okay.
and if they can be like really expensive clothes, it's the best.
Wow.
But in Coyoacán, you're going to see people who kind of look like homeless,
Okay.
but they are rich. So they're just like, yeah, I'm going to be in my really dirty jeans.
Right.
And that's like the style
Right.
of Coyoacán. So
Okay.
that's the opposite
Wow.
of people, because Coyoacán it's also expensive to live.
Okay.
It's not that cheaper.
It's just a different style.
Yes, exactly.
In this area, is it expensive?
Yes.
In the United States, you see that a lot. You see a lot of really rich people dressing like homeless people. And it's just what people do.
Yes, that's Coyoacán. I knew more Coyoacán because I did my high school in Coyoacán. My high school is in Coyoacán. It belongs to the UNAM, to the university,
Oh, okay.
and it's like the fancy high school.
Uh,
And so everybody is like, oh yes, you go to that. You're so fancy. Like, yes, sorry. There's sun. Yeah, it's hot.
It is hot. You don't like the heat either, right? You like
No,
the cold.
I love the cold.
Yeah. You like New York.
Probably, I don't know.
It snows.
Sorry.
Have you ever seen snow?
What?
Have you ever seen snow?
No.
No.
good for you.
You like it.
After the first time, you don't want to see it again.
Okay.
Some people like it. You like it in snowboarding.
Yes.
It takes you around. Okay. Takes you around the town.
Yeah, probably. It's a free entrance just for children and
Right.
seniors, students.
Okay, everybody, so we're at the castle, and as you can see on this board here, there's a whole bunch of things that you can and can't do. Keep in mind that if you want to use photography, there's certain ones that are allowed and not allowed, and depending on the ones you have, you will have to actually pay more or less in order to have that photography equipment. So today we'll have to pay extra to have the camera. You look like you're gonna die.
They're gonna search our bags.
Pase, pase, pase.
Elevator service. Oh, for seniors.
Hola.
Hola.
Buenas tardes. Tres, por favor. 270.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not.
You're going to use your cameras?
Sí.
Okay.
Yeah, the 50
Okay,
pesos.
50
Okay.
pesos.
Gracias.
That's easier for the change.
Sí.
So how much is it all together? 270 plus 50.
320? Isn't it?
370.
Ah,
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
So
Gracias.
you should be getting how much back?
Gracias.
Gracias.
Ah, for the camera.
That's so cute.
And for the other one.
Ah.
Wow.
Very good.
You go right there.
As you can see, you get little stickers for the camera and you put it on your device.
And it was 50 pesos extra.
3 tickets. Thank you.
Gracias. Yeah, 50 pesos per camera.
Okay, so these are
Our tickets. Sorry, I'll learn not to trust Brittany with this.
yes. Please don't trust me.
Oh, how much was the change supposed to be?
There
Gracias.
you go.
Okay.
So it's 370 pesos, right?
Okay, adios.
Adios. Hello, everybody. So we have finally arrived after a subway ride and then the Uber ride. We finally arrived over here to El Castillo de Chapultepec, and it cost us for 3 of us and the extra 50 pesos for the cameras allowed, 370 pesos total for the cameras and 3 people, 3 adults. If you were under 13 years old and you were over 60 years old, you could come in for free.
So Sianja, do you think she forgot to give us the change on purpose or by mistake?
I believe it was on purpose.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I think so too.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Not only the French. It's like when you're like busy with a lot of stuff, you don't check your
Yes.
change.
So you think she would have did that to a Mexican
Yes,
person also?
totally.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one thing that I do notice a difference in the United States. Very rare will
Yeah.
anyone who works for a place like this try to steal from
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Because it's just they would get called out like, you don't dare do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so now it looks like we're approaching an area where they're going to check our bags.
Yes. Or that you can.
Oh,
put
you
your-
can store your things?
Yes.
Okay.
Only if you want it. If you don't want it, they're only going to check that you don't have
Weapons.
guns, pets.
Pets.
Buenos días.
Buenos dias.
Okay, alimentos.
Can you show him my bag? Can you show him?
Oh, no food. Okay.
Uh,
You can.
yeah. So they're making us take out a closed protein bar. So you can't bring this.
Oh, okay. So you need to pay in the back there.
For a
the box
locker.
office. Yeah. It costs 10 pesos.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you need to pay 10 pesos so they can give you a key.
But if you keep the bar now, you don't have to pay.